Hi everyone, it's Gail Scott again, and this channeling is all about trying to understand how to live in a perfect world. And that is what we maybe thought we had, but certainly I don't believe that we have that right now. And so I know many people have been asking me, when's this going to end? And what's it going to look like at the end? And of course, we don't know that yet. But if you want to live in a world where there's peace and where everything works, so where there's no disarray, you're going to have to hold on for a little bit, because this is a journey that we're all in right now, a transition, a transmutation, a transformation, and any sense of living in an idyllic world is just not kind of on the cards right now, as we as a species are upgrading as well as our planet. But there are things that you can do to certainly create your own little perfect world, living where you are, doing what you're doing and being who you are. And so what this channeling is coming through to say is that it's really about your sense of self-awareness of your own emotional state. And so any moment that you experience joy or fulfillment or satisfaction, a general level of internal happiness, well, you're living in that idyllic world. You're living in that perfect world. And so the secret to really transforming your life is to have an awareness of that world, and you get to create it in every moment of your life. And this is called consciousness. And so this message today is kind of consciousness 101, you might say. And so you get to decide as an individual person about the choices that you make and the decisions that you take, the people you hang out with, the energy that they have, and whether you stay in that, the thoughts that you have inside your head and the things that come out of your mouth, and really who you're being and what you're saying to yourself and to another. So this general attitude and the behaviors that we all exhibit, these are all part of what's called our worldview. And when we know our worldview, we can be more consciously aware of who we're being and what we're creating in our life. And this is one of the exercises that I take my clients through. It's a 6-part process to really discover what is your worldview, what perspective and perception do you have on reality and on life. And so my invitation to you in this video is for you to go deep inside yourself and ask yourself, what is it in your life that's preventing you from living in this idyllic state now? And that can be pretty difficult if you're faced with some real challenging situations. And I know that I've been through many challenging situations in my life. And so, it's not pleasant to be going through those tough times, but they're not every minute of every day. There are moments of joy and tranquility and happiness in those moments. So you don't have to wait until our whole world has world peace. You don't have to wait for this whole situation that's going on to end. And you don't have to wait until 5D and the new earth has been created, or until governments have changed and laws have changed. You get to create this in your current reality right now, based on the way that you are. It's simply an attitude. It's simply the way you think. It's simply the way you are, the way you're being. You get to create your own idyllic, perfect world in the life that you're living right now in your world based on who you are. So now the next question is, well, then who are you? Who are you really? Well, in my understanding, you are an element of source energy. You are the God particle. You are the divine. You have that within you, and you can access that anytime you want to. But many of us don't do that because we think it's outside of ourselves. We think it's out there. But it's not. That's a mistake. It's a folly to think that. That's just a programmed paradigm that you're living in. You've bought into that in believing that. Now, it's not your fault. We all did it. It's part of our evolution. It's part of our growth. You know, we come onto this planet in these physical forms with amnesia of everything that we have done in previous incarnations. So it just happens to have been the way our species has evolved. And the journey, and I say this to all my clients, the journey is home. The journey is coming home to yourself, to understanding that you are source energy. You are God. And that maybe flies in the face of something that you believe, but, you know, that's because, you know, the dogma of religion has been all that we've had mostly in our world to experience life. And it's worked for us. It's worked for thousands of years in many different formats. We've had many different experiences of what religion might look like. And so we've learned about what that's like. And it was magnificent. There was wonderful things that have been created out of religion. And then there's also been horrific things that have been created in the name of religion. But now, in this moment, listening to this message, you get to sit in your own level of conscious awareness and recognize that you can rise, it can elevate, you can look at new ideas and really, you know, begin to live in your world a little differently. It might sound a little confusing because in order to access this idyllic, perfect world that is your reality, your place of joy and satisfaction and fulfillment and love, it requires you to let go of some of the thoughts and beliefs and patterns and programs that you have taken on. And that's okay. You know, you took them on, I took them on, we all took them on to live in the life that we were living. But now everything is changing. And you're either going to kind of come on the train ride or you're not. And expanding your awareness outside of yourself is in recognizing that things are not the same as they used to be, that you're bigger than you thought you were. You're all that is. You're everything. The universe is in you. God is in you. You are the divine. Now that also might seem confusing. So let's kind of take it back a little bit. And in this channeling, they said, let us make it more simple for you. So if you contain source energy, God, the divine, well, what does that mean? Oh, my papers are all falling down here that help me to give you these messages. What does it mean for you to be God? Because there is a big stigma out there about, you know, being able to accept that about ourselves. Well, what it means is that you are the ultimate creator. You're the ultimate creator of your life. You get to choose in every moment the world that you live in. So you can live in a world of hell and damnation if you want to. You can live in a world where there's heartache and tragedy. You can live in a world where there's tons of drama and blame and shame. Or you could live in a very different world where you believe that it's joyful and that things come with ease and that it is calm. And it takes your conscious awareness to connect to yourself, what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you believe, what program you're running, to be able to make that shift. And you can do it right here, now, today. Don't have to wait for everything to change in order to be in that place. It's really all about your choice and what you are connected to, what you make your God, so to speak. Now, is this easy? No, not really. It could be, but for most of us, it's not, because our brains are so wired to believe the other. And so it really takes an element of you and me accepting that we are the I am. We are the universe in this little package that we show up in on earth, that we are God within us. We are the divine. We are love. We are everything. And we are made of that. We're made of the stars. We're made of all the elements that make our earth. And we have heart energy that is the strongest vibration ever. It is the energy of love, which is God at its essence. And you're not fear. You are not stress. You're not anxiety. You're not worry. You're not any of those things unless you choose that in your existence, in your world. And I know right now it's hard to choose other things because we're being bombarded with changes and rules and different experiences that we're maybe not ready for. But you are ready for this. You were born for this. That's why you're here at this time, to be in this experience. You know, it's like you got into a boat and you have a paddle and you get to decide what that journey is going to look like for you. And we're all in the same boat. And how are we looking at the journey? And so recognizing that you are divine, and that is, there's a term now being used called sovereign being. You're a sovereign being, meaning that you're created from the divine light into this human species, and you get to be human. You get to play and have fun and explore. And now our planet that we live on is also getting to expand with this incredible photonic light that comes from our sun. And that some of us don't even know that's happening, but the rest of us feel something happening. So can you be open to the idea that there's an expansion happening here that we're not even aware of, but that this photonic light, this expansion, can assist to create new worlds, into a world that you'd want to belong to. And that it's happening, whether you like it or not, it is happening. And it is your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions that will assist this light to create a new reality for all of us. And that you can do it simply in a moment by the way that you choose to live your life, and what your outlook is, and what your attitude is, and what you believe. And this is not easy stuff. Changing your belief systems it can be tough. You know, I once had this beautiful client. She was in her late 60s. She was retired. And most people that I work with, it's tough slog to get them to change their beliefs. And we were working together, and I remember saying to her, you know, she would tell me what she believed. And I would say, okay, what's another thing that you could believe? You know, if you could just think out of the box, what could it be? And so she would come up with another idea, or I would give her some suggestions. And then I would say, well, you know, what would it take for you to open into that kind of frame of mind? And she would say, well, I can just start thinking that now. And it was just a beautiful thing to experience her willingness to realign herself to a more positive, freeing kind of way of being. And that's available to you. You know, you might say, oh, love energy, love is the answer. That sounds a little romantic, sounds a little like Storybrooke Cinderella kind of a thing, but it's not. It's available to you now. If you could get grounded in your heart and you come from love, and then you can create this world that you want to live in. And we can do that together. Yes, we are going through some major transitions right now, huge upgrades, but it's simply our evolution. We are evolving. And so you can evolve too. You can shift your consciousness. You can change your beliefs. You can change your attitude. You can feel happier. You can be less fearful. And sometimes the only way that we can do that is to be with ourselves and recognize what's not working. And often when I work with people, they can't tell me what they want, but they can certainly tell me what they don't want. And so I can help them to create their life based on the opposite of what they don't want, which is what you want. And that's often the most difficult question for people to answer. What do you want? Well, you want to find the moments that bring you joy, that make you happy, and bring more of them into your life. Small moments of pleasure, laughter, you know, fun, energy that has you feel connected and grounded. And you have to be willing to let go of all the drama and all the fear and all the stories and everybody else's fear and stories that upset you. Because you have to be strong to keep your own focus. Because if you focus on negativity and fear and concern, you're just going to get more of that. That is a natural progression. Now, this is not an easy journey. Let me tell you that. I know that when I work with people, I say to them, this is not for the faint-hearted. Are you up for the ride? I will assist you. I've done it myself. I won't ask you to do anything I haven't done. So does it mean that you won't fight or argue or experience difficulty? No, you will. You will. But that's your evolution. And those of us who are here for that dynamic is going to be here. It's how we move forward. And so can you acknowledge that you are love, that you are the divine, that you are pure joy? And can you uphold that in your life? And I invite you to take a critical look at who you're being in every moment and decide, am I in my truth? Because when you're in your truth, you're undeniable. But if you are placating to someone else, or you are going along to get along, and you know that that's not really who you are or what you want, and you are, you know, tolerating, let's say, it's a very dangerous place for you as a human being, because your spirit is all about love and joy, and recognizes that that can be a challenging journey, but it will help you. That your spirit can guide you and help you. And, you know, those ways of being where you're going along to get along, or you're fearful and you're doing things so that things, you know, will hopefully work out if I do this, that's not the light. That's not being of love. That's not heart-centered. Sometimes to be in your integrity, you need to stand up for yourself, and you need to be a warrior. And that is really, you know, where we're at right now. We're creating a new world, And some of us have to be spiritual warriors on the ground and standing up for our rights and standing up for other people's rights and making noise and creating change. And that's the role that some people have come here to do, specifically at this time for our planet, for our world, for you and for me. And then there are others of us where our job is to hold the light. Our job is to be love. Our job is to meditate. Our job is to send love out. Our job is to hold space for the transformation that is possible. And so some of you will be those warriors, and some of you will be messengers and communicators like me. And some of you will be leaders and inspirers. And there are many different roles that you can take on that you have, probably agreed to, and maybe you don't know that yet, to create this new world that we're walking into. And it's really time for us all to figure out what our role is and to stand up and to be who we came here to be. And so many of you might be saying, well, I don't know. I don't know what my role is. I don't know what my purpose is. Well, that's realistic. We've been going along not really knowing why we were here. And now we're really understanding that we're here to create this beautiful world full of love-centered beings. And so, your purpose is probably different from mine and different from your neighbors and different from your partners. But if you want to really tap into that, you need some time on your own, as I mentioned earlier. So you might want to meditate with, a pad of paper beside you and just write down the kinds of things that come into your mind that would be positive and inspiring. Or you might want to go and sit out in nature and listen and get into your heart and be at peace in that place. Or you might want to journal and just journal and journal and journal until you get clarity, to decide what it is you want to build in your life moving forward. Do you want to build a peaceful environment for your children? Do you want to be part of a school that teaches them about love and about nature and about our world? Do you want to have a workplace that is respectful and where people are allowed to be in their sovereignty, where they can think critically, where they can make their own choices? Maybe you're just going to hold space in your home for openness and love and acceptance and non-discrimination. I don't know. I don't know what your journey will be. Only you can tap into that. I could help you tap into that, but it takes an energy of solitude. And sometimes it takes, talking it over with someone else who can kind of help you pull out the information that is in you. Because remember, you are the divine. You are the all that is. You're the universe. You have it all. You just don't know it because it's all covered up with all these programs and paradigms and beliefs that aren't yours. So these are not easy times for any of us. And they have said that in my channeling messages, but they're exciting times because we're creating our new world. And there's an opportunity here for you to transform your energy. And then the beautiful planet that we're living in will become much more aligned with the photon light that is coming onto our planet. And if you're listening to this message for the first time and you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say photon light, don't worry about it. Just recognize that it's powerful. And it creates shifts in worlds. And one of those worlds that's changing is ours right now. And when you connect into your own source of love, that light that is within you, the energy within your heart, and you recognize what makes you feel good and it makes others feel good too, do more of that. Do more of that. Any moment of any day, choose love and choose to be happy and choose to find the best and be grateful and be hopeful and be a leader. Maybe you're the leader in your family, maybe the leader in your community. When we are generous with our love and our leadership, that is inspiring. Stay away from being a martyr and being a victim. That those roles are old energy, old 3D energy that don't work. They don't bring you forward. They don't inspire. It's about taking back our sovereignty, which we lost eons ago. And that's not a bad thing. You know, they're saying it's not a bad thing that that happened. It was what was chosen. We chose it for the evolution of our species. And now we get to choose something different. And so we get to choose how we want to move forward. And we're starting this journey. And it might seem that we're journeying into something unknown, but we're not. We're journeying home to a light that we have intrinsically within us, and a love. And it might appear like it's a new light and a new love, but it's a home of bigger sovereignty than we've ever known before. And when you know who you are and you focus on that and you let that come forward in your life every day, then you are beginning to create your perfect world. And that is very contagious, and it will inspire others to do the same. And when we do that, people want to be with us. They want to be in our company because they feel better about themselves. And at the end of the day, that is really what this shift is all about. It is us coming into that beautiful love, energetic space that is becoming our planet. Woo, it's a strong one, this one. So it's very exciting, and I hope that you're inspired. And if you are looking to join any meditation group, then in my previous video, I did talk about that. Please subscribe to my newsletter on my website. The link is below, and you'll be included in any of the events that I am going to be planning over the next little while. And in the meantime, you know, laugh, love, learn, grow, play, and be in your heart. It is the best place to be. And with that, I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and thank you once again for watching.